We are back. I don't um I don't think that anyone should get their morals from some guy on YouTube. Uh but I do think that like a percentage of teen boys are, at least for the duration of part of their teens, getting their morals from some guy on YouTube. Um and unfortunately, I think a lot of those guys are kind of garbage. Garbage at being good like models for that kind of age range, or for any age range really. There's like all these fucking Andrew Tates out there who are just like, follow me, I'm what it means to be a man, blah 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 blah. And I think there's like this sort of common, something that I hear from sort of both ends of the spectrum, socially, politically, whatever, is that, the reason that guys like him and his many clones are like so prominent at present is because, hang on, I have to grab a different weapon because this is not enough juice left in it. Is because in some way, like, there are no like good role models for men. I'm not sure what people say this a lot. I feel like that it's like young men don't have like good role models, and I think maybe the reason they're saying this is because like there's been a like championing for certain of like, you know maybe role models that aren't like as directed towards uh like young cishet dudes. um but it doesn't, those don't like take away the existing. People are like, there's no role models for young men, but like, I don't mean to be this guy, but like, what about like, I know like not everyone has a dad, but for those who do and have like an okay relationship, do you not like do you not get anything out of them? And also like, I don't know, there were just, I when I was a young man and I was looking for role models, the people who I was obsessed with were like musicians and like comedians and like people with like interesting like points of view who did like cool stuff, and not, I don't know, I guess just sex traffickers whose like whole thing is like, I should be a role model, like you should act like me. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, anyone who was like, I'm a role model, you, I'm teaching you what you should be, how you should be behaving, and what you should do. Those people were like losers to me. You know what I mean? It was like the guy, like the past his prime, like sport, like athlete coming in to like tell kids not to do drugs at the at the like school assembly. I just don't get it, there's tons of male role models, and even if you're like a person who's like super interested in like fame and money and shit, I guess like if you're obsessed with that kind of shit, there's better options, like, who aren't like as like, I don't know, maybe it's that he's controversial that people like, but like he's not really controversial in like a fun way, in like a way where it's like, yeah, stick it to, the man, I guess. Or maybe your perception of it is different. But for me, he's just like, he's primarily a sex pest. And a lot of these dudes, like, their whole viewpoint is so like myopic of like what like is like masculine or manly. And it's just like, I don't know, man. There's so much history to look at too. I just don't, I get it. I do that, I can't expect like necessarily for these young teens to like be seeking out things that I'm suggesting they seek out. They're like sort of in some ways being like fed this like let me start the engine first. I can come get the honey later. They're being like fed this like stuff. You know, it's like an algorithm, and it's what's showing up in there. You know, and the people who they are watching are telling them that there are no good role models, and some of them probably don't have parents or dads or parents or a good relationship with their dad or parents, which I totally empathize with. Uh, I'm not, I have a relatively good relationship with my dad, but I know lots of people who don't in my life, and I know that it can, be a complex like issue for a lot of people. Um, my beautiful home. But I guess I don't know. I think we're giving up the goat a little bit. Like I'm not giving up the goat because that like means that there's a trick, right? Or maybe not. But like we're like conceding a point that isn't necessarily we don't need to concede, which is like there are no good role models for young men, which I don't personally get that vibe. I think that there's like a complicated change in how like men exist versus other genders versus cishet men versus other orientations and all these things. um but like I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little too deep for a let's play politically, but I gotta use the engines. This is really, there we go, there we are. um but like I don't know, there's like cool people doing cool stuff all over the world, and some of them are men and some of them are women, and I think it's fair to like be like I want um representation of my particular thing. But it feels weird to be like there are no like male role models when if you look at the all the movies coming out and all the like music coming out, how much of it is just like dudes. And like if you're like very specifically a cishet white dudes, it's not like these guys don't like exist and aren't like doing things. But maybe it's just like no, it has to be like there has to be some aspect of like toxicity to it maybe for some people, where they like are like I want to like fight back against that narrative thing of like toxic masculinity, and the way to do that is by embodying those specific principles. And who knows, man, what's going on in people's heads. I don't honestly, I kind of don't think it's ever that like what's the word, it's that thought out. Not like in like a like oh they're stupid way, but in like a I just don't think it's like always that like oh I'm doing this because of this kind of thing. Let's pop you here. Let's soothe a little bit of ourselves after me just talking about like political stuff. Oh, and if you're like thinking about posting a comment down below in the comments section, either agreeing with me or disagreeing with me, telling me you think I'm like cool or not, don't bother, because I probably won't be reading them. I don't read the comments that often. I occasionally do, just to make sure that there's not something crazy going on in there. But like, the reality is, I don't know. I think there's something very cool that can be built out of like having a interaction with the audience, between audience and artist. But I think that usually dancing. I think that usually, I think that now that it's just like the default, it like, I don't think it like is that like um, what's the word? I don't think that most people are using it in an interesting way. I think it's just like so the default that like people are like, oh well, I have to do this now, and then but it doesn't like add anything or whatever. You know what I mean? I think it's like if painters suddenly started like after they put up a show being like, hey, thanks for all the comments you guys left on the last show. I'm gonna stop using the color blue so much. It was a good suggestion. Um, like, not that like that's like necessary, but like I don't necessarily think that I'm getting a ton out of people like telling me what I should or shouldn't do or think or believe or whatever. Let's craft some rope because that's what you guys really love. That you can comment about. Everybody who loves it when I craft rope for 2 minutes straight, sound off in the comments. Everybody else, shut the hell up. These two recording episodes, they've gone slow. Normally they go so fast. But I think just because I've been like, my brain's been firing on all cylinders recently. Wow. I should pop all this stuff up. Boop, 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 boop. Boop. Can't see it, but I'm doing the Night at the Roxbury, bobbing my head along to the music. This doesn't really sound like pop to me, if I'm being for real with you. But who knows? My music tastes have really expanded since I was a teen. This maybe goes along with like my viewpoints about teens and masculinity and stuff, which is like I was very like opposed to anything like even semi-pop, anything like kind of girly. I think partially because I lived in a time frame where the deepest insult that most bullies had in their quiver was "you're gay," um, and I didn't fully. I think at the time it was like this weird thing where like both I knew that that was oh fuck I should hit that. Hang on, go to that island. 1 sec. I knew that that was like a wrong like thing to like think was an insult, but also I still like felt like I needed to combat that like view of me, I guess. Because I'm not, to be clear. I'm not a gay man. I'm a straight dude. But I don't really care what people think I am now. And like my grown like I guess confidence in myself, in my personality, in my what's not personality, in my identity, um, means that I like don't like have this feeling of like, oh, I have to listen to punk music exclusive. I have to listen to just like the like coolest rock and roll, um, or whatever. Stop the engines, and then oop, give me my stuff back. Hang on, I'm actually gonna pop upstairs really quick and go ahead and plant these bad boys. That now I feel like, oh, I can just listen to the new Olivia Rodrigo song, and I'm not like missing out on a fucking killer. Obsessed is a great song. It's incredible. It's really good. I can just listen to it and say that and feel like super positive about that. I was missing out on a ton of great pop music. Now, that's not to say that I think all pop music is great now, but I think like there's a real skill to being able to write like hooks in the right way. You know, you look at like a song like Obsessed or like Bad Habit, and it's like wow, it's so hooky. But it's not. It doesn't feel like goofy. It feels good, or it does feel a little goofy, but in a kind of good way. Um, all right, what did I need? Econ stuff. Needed. I'll grab a decent amount, and I'm gonna get some nails, and I'm gonna get some bait, and maybe some wood while I'm here. Here. Not you. Only tier 3 bait. Actually, we'll buy some titanium too. We're here. And then scrap. And planks. Sure, why not? Great. And then I'll like chop down some trees or something too. I'm over here. Might as well. I'm not gonna mess with the whole island, but I might as well grab these trees that are immediately here. I mean, 15 scrap is pretty significant, actually. Not too shabby. Look at him go. One of the saddest parts, I think, about me losing sound is there was an episode, it's gotta be like 30 ago now, so it's like a month ago if you somehow managed to watch any of those. I don't know what episode happened in, but where I just like, wow, that thing's fucking loud. That is holy. Let's turn that off for a little bit. It's kind of nice sometimes, but you need a break, I think. Okay, we're actually pretty on target almost. We just have to... Oh no, what are we jammed on? Can we just turn out of it? No. Let's just go boop. And then boop. Just pop a little bit out to sea, and then we'll turn to get on target, which actually we're pretty close to it. Just like thereabouts, right? Because I want it to be lined up pretty. I should like basically not see the flag almost. Yeah, that's good enough, we'll say. I thought there was a swan sitting out on the lake there, but it's just a piece of seaweed coming up out of the water. This little dot's so funny. It's just a rock. It's just like a little rock, probably. Oh yeah, I wanted to build, like 2 episodes ago, I think. I wanted to build some more planters, because I don't have any more. Ah, you need scrap for the planters. That's crazy. Okay. We need some scrap. And then we're gonna build them like as we need them, I think. So 1, 2. Let's move you. One, 2 there. And then probably at least 3. Which I'm out of wood for, but we can fix that. You know? Pretty close. on down here and grab a little more wood. Craft one more of these. I can't believe they don't take dirt. That's wild. Because the grass plots take dirt. And they require so much less of it. Beautiful. Might have to put a grass plot there just for my mental. Just for me liking that, but... Okay, let's go grab some... Sorry, I know it should be the next episode, but I just need to finish this. Give me these. Give me these. Give me these. Banana. No, bananas are trees, huh? That makes sense. That would make sense, huh? Alright, so maybe... Oh, I can't. I guess I could just pick it up. And that'll do the trick. And actually, that's kind of good, because I think I'd rather have the space be in between these two. And then, yep, you can just plant a banana tree. Banana tree. I gotta go get some more water. I wish I could... Nope. I'm sorry. The episode will end so soon. Believe you me. It's almost time. The episode's almost over. Just need to water. Just a couple of plants. Plant. Okay. Thanks. Later. Bye.